So the master of all clones has finally arrived. We're talking Mewtwo, and he has come back with a vengeance after 14 years of being dormant. Well, probably not really if you bought, Melee. But yeah, it's been 14 years since Mewtwo has been in a Smash title, so yeah, it's awesome that he's coming. He's come to DLC. I have played him, I am showing him. He is awesome. And now it's time to see if this DLC is worth it or just fan service. Hello and welcome to Wolfie Reviews. This week we are doing Mewtwo. I know, usually we do a product or a game, but this time we're doing DLC because, DLC is awesome, especially when it comes to this. So, looking back at Mewtwo from Melee, you'll notice he has the exact same moveset as this incarnation of Mewtwo, with a couple of tweaks. He actually can dish out more power in this iteration, and so it's a little bit more balanced for his slower speed. I was kind of let down when I first unlocked Mewtwo back in Melee, after all of the work it actually took to unlock him. Now, what's really funny is, since Mewtwo's arrival, many characters have actually borrowed from his moveset. Back in Melee, he had several moves that are actually in a bunch of other characters. In fact, Lucario's Aurora Sphere is the same as his Shadow Ball, with a couple of give or take tweaks in between. And his teleport is pretty much Palutena's warp ability. And it's not just characters that have taken from him, though. There are actually things that he took from other characters. Ganondorf's taunt spin thing is right here with Mewtwo, and he also has this charge up thing, which is from Lucario. So, you take my Aurora Sphere, I get your taunt. Bam! That's how it works. But if that's not enough, really, that's not enough. We need to know, how does he play, and is he worth it? Now, as a fighter, Mewtwo finds himself in a rather odd spot, but it's a good one. He has the floatiness of Rosalina and Palutena, which comes with a decrease in speed, and kind of just a lofty movement between them. And he actually has a larger range and power than most fighters, which is truly unique, making it so that his loftiness isn't as much of a downside, but more of a strategic gain, where you can actually use his abilities to move into moves and time your moves perfectly, which is the trick to playing Mewtwo. Now, you can't charge him blindly when playing Mewtwo, and for the hours I played with him, I can vouch and say that really, you should not do that. I've even played him online a bit to see how it works. Now, he is capable of playing some serious mind games against your opponents. His confusion is capable of stopping moves in their tracks, ranged and even physical moves. It stops it and throws your opponent on the ground and does damage to them. Like, what? That's crazy! And then on top of that, he's capable of doing a move called Disabled, which will literally put your opponent into a dazed-like state, and the more percentage on them, the longer they stay in this. And it's so easy to charge up full smash attacks while they're in that dazed state. Which leads into how he's really, really capable of comboing. Due to his loftiness and his floatiness, you are able to actually knock opponents in the air and keep them in the air, much like Rosalina. But instead of having to keep them up there for very long, you're capable of building up their percentage rather quickly, and then KOing them with either his up or his side smash. And he's actually rather powerful. Building percentage is easy with Mewtwo. Anywhere between his Shadow Ball to any of his grabs is capable of doing a lot of damage. And by doing that, making Mewtwo a very easy to use fighter. But he's not easy to master. In fact, I'm still learning little quirks about his abilities. Now, he does have a couple of major setbacks. One, his dodging takes a long time. You actually have to activate a dodge earlier than you would with most characters in order to dodge attacks, because his invincibility frames are only in the beginning and end of the dodge, unless you're in the air, in which it's reversed, and it's actually at the middle point in which his invincibility is. Mewtwo is also not really that good at aerial game. His lofty jumping makes it so that his first jump is slow enough that you can get hit by most projectile attacks. His second jump is much faster, but wasting that first jump to do a quick second jump ends up being negative against you. And it's a shame because, amazingly, Mewtwo has one of the best meteor attacks and easiest to pull off meteor attacks out of any character. His down attack is actually so easy to meteor with. I've actually done it several times, and his up aerial is capable of launching foes upward at higher percentages. And his neutral aerial is capable of dealing large amounts of damage. So he actually has an interesting combination where his aerial isn't amazing, but his attacks are. And so it makes Mewtwo a little difficult in that sense to time and use his abilities to attack your opponents. Interestingly enough, the confusion ability is amazing online. Now, I pointed out that it can stop attack and projectiles, but you don't really understand how deep this is until you realize that Mewtwo doesn't have a counter, and this is his counter. And unlike other counters, anything stuck in that field, that means all fighters and projectiles will be negated, which is amazing. Now, one big downside to Mewtwo is the amount of time it takes him to actually recover from an attack. His attacks are kind of lengthy, therefore it will take longer for him to actually recover. Again, these are little tiny bits and pieces that I can pick up throughout the hours of playing him, but so far he plays like no other fighter and is quite enjoyable. Animation-wise, Mewtwo is actually rock solid, improving on his melee animations and just making them fit within Smash 4. Across the 3DS, Mewtwo looks just as good, with a slightly darker shading, giving him kind of an ominous tone. And his height is actually canon with the Pokemon universe. According to the Pokédex, he is about the same height as he is in Smash Bros., which would make him possibly one of the most canon iterations of Mewtwo. If you are playing with items, then Mewtwo's final smash is Mega Mewtwo Y. Wait, Mega Mewtwo Y. Yeah, it's him using Mewtwo Y. And he shoots a large ball of psychic energy that crushes through everything, obstacles, opponents, everything. And then after it passes, it does like this whole mind-shattering animation, and your opponents go flying off the screen. And what's amazing is it's really hard to dodge, and it's almost impossible to steal a point from. It's an amazing Mega Evolution type smash attack. Wow, I drew a blank there. All in all, Mewtwo is a super strong fighter with tons of potential to make it into competitive play. His ease of use makes him very approachable, but his depth to his moves leads to much more tactical play. Do I think he is worth it? Yes. He isn't just fan service at this point. Mewtwo is definitely up there with the fighters. Pokemon versus Pokemon, Mewtwo is good. Against almost every other fighter, he can hold his own. Therefore, I think he is worth it. Well, thank you guys for watching this video. If you enjoyed watching this video, you can tell me about it in the comment section. Telling me anything about things in the comment section will help me improve and grow. You can click this video, which is a video of me playing Mewtwo in classic mode, which is awesome. So yeah, click that and you can see that. Or you can click this pie over here and go back to our channel. I thank you guys for watching again. Wolfie, out.